What's up guys, PippiD here, and welcome to episode 11 of my road to Manchester City. We're picking off where we left off the last episode. Still had some FUT Champions games to go, and the reason there's 30 matches remaining rather than 20 is because I don't end up playing all 40 matches. I just didn't have the time, and I think that this is going to be a problem coming up in the next FUT Champions that we will be playing, where I just don't have the time because it's just 2 days. So we probably won't be playing all the games like we did in the first run. But it's going to be okay because I feel like we can still aim for something high enough that will give us a good reward in the long run. And it might make me a little bit less stressed out, to be honest. But yeah, enough of that. Well, we got 30 games remaining. As you saw right there, we had 6 wins. So we definitely picked up from what we did last episode where we were 1 and 2. We also go ahead and take a look at our transfer list. We sold some of the bronze cards that we had. And we also go ahead and do the squad builder challenge that I told you guys I wanted to do. Well, I did mention this last episode, but I didn't do it because I didn't have the coins at the time. I just didn't want to spend them. And this was the Juventus one, which is part of the Del Piero challenge. So we did the Italy one last episode. We do the Juventus one this episode. And the Juventus one only cost us 3,200 coins, which wasn't that bad in my opinion. So we go ahead and open up the Serie A pack that we get for completing that one. And we do get a pretty good pack. We get ourselves Banega right here, who I actually have on my main account as an untradeable. And I heard good things about him, but I still doubted him. And I put him into my team, and he was actually really good as a cam. So I thought about keeping him because in the future for this, we might be doing Serie A. But I said, you know what, I'm going to sell him because the team we have for FUT Champions is definitely something I want to keep for the long run. And we'll get a little bit more into that later on. So we go ahead and send those guys to the transfer list, and we go ahead and take a look at our progress after 10 more games. 13 wins, 20 games played, which puts us at 13-7, which is honestly probably better than what we were doing the last FUT Champions run after 20 games. So I was pretty happy with that. Definitely got better because we started off just so badly. We then go ahead and do the Bilbao and Real Sociedad challenge. This one was one of the marquee matchups, and we did the Napoli and Roma one last episode, and I thought those would be the only ones I would do. But I really wanted to get a challenge done. We're kind of like, we don't have any challenges left, so I went ahead and did something I thought I would end up regretting, and we spent 10,000 coins on that Real Sociedad and Bilbao challenge. So hopefully we can get something good from this pack. And we get ourselves Nolito, which isn't worth what we would have wanted, the 10,000 coins that we spent, but he's a City player. And this time around, we're not going to be selling him because even if I sold him there for a little bit more than what I would have wanted to spend, it only would have been like 1,000 coins or so. So you know what? We're keeping Nolito. We're going to have him pack pulled, and he is going to be part of the City team that we will be building next episode. But like I promised you guys, this episode we will be buying the City players, but that is a little bit more later on. So go ahead, take a look at our transfer list once again. The New York City guy that we packed the last episode, we ended up selling. Also sold some Roma players that we had. Also sold Banega like I told you guys I would. And we look at our progress after, 29 games played, almost 30. And we're going to be playing our third game over here. So we have secured gold 3. But I wanted to get one more game, and I had just enough time to play one more game. And I wanted to show you guys that game. And we take a look at the team, right? And there is a drastic, well, not a drastic change, but there is a change. The formation was 4-3-2-1, and now it's 4-3-3-2. I actually changed to a 4-3-3-2 not too long after I showed you guys the game last episode. And I really noticed an improvement in the way I played. And I think that's partially due to the fact that I was playing a lot of people with the 4-3-3-4, and I feel like personally the 4-3-3-2 is really effective against the 4-3-3-4. However, the formation we're playing up against now, the 4-1-2-1-2, and even the 4-1-2-1-2 normal one with the left mid and right mid, plays very well against the 4-3-3-2. So while I did have success against the 4-3-3-4, I did struggle against the 4-1-2-1-2s. And you will be seeing it in this game over here. We come across our opponent who has a Brazilian team, as you saw, and he would get the party started over here. Early on, Lucas is through on goal, and he does end up chipping Oblak. I thought I baited him enough by pulling out Oblak to where I could like unbait him and run backwards and save the chip, but it was just such a nice chip, and I couldn't really do anything about it. So just from that, I knew our opponent was the real deal, as most opponents are in FUT Champions. But over here in the 26th minute, we would have a chance at an equalizer, and we do end up getting that equalizer, but it was a very cheesy goal right there. Wasn't too proud of that, but a goal nonetheless. And you're probably wondering what happened to Vieirinha. Why is why is Traore playing instead of him? Well, I actually had Vieirinha get injured, so I needed a replacement. And I saw that in our club we had two players. One of them was Muller, and one of them was Traore. I ended up going with Traore, and he actually impressed me. He was better than I thought he would. While his finishing was still horrendous, his pace really helped, which it's like one of the positives of not using Vieirinha. He's not too fast, but he's still really good. So we won't be getting rid of Vieirinha, but for now I want to play around with Traore. We head into the half 1-1, but our opponent, without a doubt, the dominant player. Over here in the 51st minute, he would have a chance to make it 2-1, but our defense right there came in very clutch. And something I don't talk about much when I build squads and play games with is the defense. I feel like I just don't talk about it much, and I learned a lot through FUT Champions. And what I did learn is that I was very happy with how the defense played in this team. If anything, I had more problems with like the midfield and the attack than the defense at all. Like, while the fullbacks never attack, by the way, never stay back, even though I tell them to, I still really liked the defense in this team, and you will be seeing them a few times come in clutch over here. But yeah, we do take the lead in this game, which honestly was surprising because we weren't playing better than our opponent. If anything, we were holding on, but it would correct itself later on because in the 73rd minute he does grab an equalizer right there with Casemiro. And with that, we are tied 2-2. And in the 84th minute over here, he would try to get a counterattack going from a corner. And Jonas does win the header right there. Or not Jonas. Allen wins the header, gives it to Jonas. Jonas doesn't score right there. And I thought, if he misses that and he hit the post earlier too, I think I might have to win this game because that's just how it is. But in the 90th minute over here, we would be blowing the ref would blow for full time, which meant extra time. And I thought to myself, why did I not do subs earlier? Because I probably could have maybe grabbed the goal and won the game there, but it is what it is. And over here, he does end up getting a free kick right there. We do win the header, clear it out. And I said, you know what? This is the time for subs, because he actually ended up doing subs, I think, early on in the first half of extra time. So I said, you know what, let's do subs. Don't want to put ourselves down at disadvantage over here. And we bring on Bender, who I bought because Gustavo got injured at some point. We also bring on Vieirinha, who I still think is very good. And I think we also bring on Bellerin, who we still had some loan games for. And he is a very good right back, by the way. So we go ahead, bring those three guys on, and hopefully they would have a change. However, not too long after doing the change, Allen once again involved in an attacking play right there. This time he scores it though, and he makes it 3-2 in the 105th minute. So unfortunately, after that goal, I went all out attack, but I was just not able to break down our opponent. Once again, showing you guys that I do struggle with the 4-1-2-1-2 formations with the formation I am playing. And I think that maybe if I had switched formation or something, I could have played a better game and maybe won. But to be honest, I'd rather lose 3-2 in 120 minutes than tie 2-2, go to penalties and lose, because that is just severe false hope that I emotionally can't deal with, but I kind of have to sometimes. Anyways, we do end up with goal 3, which while is not as good as we did last week, I feel like we played better because I didn't force myself to play games consecutively too much. And that's something I really think I'm going to be doing. And by the way, we're going to be keeping the same team that we just played with. We're going to keep it for 2 more weeks because I don't see myself playing FUT Champions after this whole month. But we'll be getting into that a little bit more. later. So we get goal 3, which isn't too bad. We then go ahead and take a look at our transfer list. We did buy some Nigerians. We bought some PSG players. We bought some Marseille players. And you're probably wondering why the hell. Well, I had a feeling, and it didn't end up coming true, but I had a feeling that Moses was going to get a squad builder challenge for becoming a hero, because he is now a starter for Chelsea and he's actually been very great for them. So I thought they would do like what they did with Barry, but for Moses, unfortunately, I don't think that will be happening, but it's still a fun risk to take, because if it does end up happening, the reward is very serious. We also bought Marseille and PSG players. This one was a little bit more of a safe bet, because if they do end up doing a marquee matchups on the weekend, PSG players are going to be going up and Marseille players are going to be going up, because they will be playing each other, and I really feel that EA will be doing a squad builder challenge for both those teams. But then the moment you guys have been waiting for, Caballero, a City player, and that is because we are signing all the City players that I promised you guys we will be signing, or that we would sign this episode. So we go ahead, we buy a bunch of City players, picking up Navas, picked up Delph, picked up Caballero, all the guys that we had before in the past, and we had to sell way back when the Sterling Challenge came out. And then we go ahead and make a pretty big signing. Well, after this, I thought I was going to go for Fernandinho. We get Fernando, and I think then we go for Fernandinho, which is very pricey, and I was debating on whether or not I would buy him. But I think it's a good bet, because even if he does go down, he's just going to be a very good midfielder to have. His stats are very well rounded. We also go ahead and buy Stones over here, who really dropped in price. He was going for 30,000 coins at one point, which is just insane. But now he is down to 3,000, and I feel like he'll drop even more, but it's okay, because it's not too many coins that we will be losing if he does drop. We also go ahead and buy Sane, who we did pack, but we sold for like 5.9, I think. He ended up dropping, so I was kind of right on that. But yeah, we still haven't signed Fernandinho that I was just talking about, by the way. But yeah, a lot of signings, and I ended up sending these guys to the club and checking later. We could build a starting 11 almost from City players. So next episode, we're definitely going to be getting into that. And yeah, next episode, we're going to be looking at the team. We're going to be collecting our FUT Champions rewards. We're going to be doing more challenges, and that is that. So I got so unlucky right there with Fernandinho. He was going for 14k, and I couldn't get any of them. We do go ahead and end up buying that one for 14,250, which honestly doesn't really matter. And I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, the bronzes and silver guys I wanted to buy too. While I don't end up buying all of them, we do buy some of them for just very cheap, which is just so good. I forgot to mention this, by the way. I bought these players on Monday, which I think was the ideal time to buy them, because everybody's selling their teams for FUT Champions. They just want to get coins out. There was no more. Well, if there was a challenge for Premier League players, the City players weren't necessarily needed, and I wanted to get it by the players before a new squad builder challenge came out, because you never know. So we go ahead, send those guys to the club. Now it's time for the silvers. We go ahead and buy back Gunn, also buy back Angelino, also go and buy back Maffeo, who we also had back when we wanted to do like a Spanish team. And that is that. But we are missing the most important silver, and it's not Iheanacho. It's the second best one, and it's Ambrose. He played a big part early on for us, where he got himself some goals, and he will definitely be making his return as we buy him for 800 coins. So we go ahead, send him to the club, and we can officially go ahead and check those guys off all of the checklist. Now we're looking at the checklist right there, and they're checked off, but the checklist is a little bit updated. As you can see from the colors, they have definitely changed. And tell me if you guys like the way the checklist looks, by the way. But the most important thing is that we can check off so many City players, some that we had before, some that we didn't. And I also might get Alex Hunter in the future, but we'll talk about that more later on. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching episode 11 of my road to Manchester City. My name is PBD, and I'm out.